Hi, James Jones, Director of the Mid-Pacific ICT Center in San Francisco at our 2013 ICT Educator Conference with Peggy Maxson. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
So you're with Department of Homeland Security, right?
I am with the Department of Homeland Security under the National Preparedness Directorate.
So so you guys are keeping us safe, right? And in your case, safe against what?
We're very concerned in our organization about the cybersecurity threat and the advances there. Within the Department of Homeland Security, I lead a component of the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education. DHS supports this presidential initiative, which is run by the National Institute for Standards and Technology. DHS leads or co-leads 3 out of the 4 components of that, and we're very interested in ensuring a strong pipeline to fill the critical needs for careers and training for cybersecurity professionals.
Great. So let me see if I can get my head around the big picture context. So the infrastructure that we rely on today includes computers and networks and information systems, and we're vulnerable if people can get a hold of that information or disable those systems because we depend on them today. And threats to those systems affect us as a nation if they disable our critical infrastructure. They also affect our organizations if we lose proprietary information and competitive advantage. And they threaten us as individuals if people can steal our private information or take over our identities. And our government recognizes that and is taking action to try to do something about that. And your organization is critically involved in that.
Absolutely. DHS really focuses very heavily on the cybersecurity elements throughout the nation. This is our information technology that supports our way of life is critical to sustain. And our focus, the focus in my particular office and my particular job, is focusing on ensuring that we have cybersecurity professionals throughout the nation. Certainly, as James mentioned, our critical infrastructure, whether it be financial or transportation or our intellectual property, are all run by technology, and it's absolutely critical that we have a workforce that can protect and continue to build in the technology arena. So we're extremely supportive, and we are very committed to the elements within the NICE initiative, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, which has 3 objectives. 1, awareness for the nation. 2, broadening the pool of cybersecurity professionals for the pipeline. And lastly, making sure that we have a robust, competent cybersecurity workforce. Now, it's important that we understand the definition for cybersecurity because cybersecurity is a relatively new term. Mm-hmm. And in fact, it hasn't been until 2008 when the first national security strategy included cybersecurity as a national threat. And so it is a relatively new threat, and especially new to most people in the United States. And yet almost every individual, not only in the United States, this is an international issue, has been affected or has at least heard of someone close to them, whether it be websites that have been defaced, or whether it's been credit cards that they've had canceled and had to be renewed. All of these are impacting everyone in the technology space. And so it's absolutely critically important that we create the awareness, that people know, and that we change our culture in terms of understanding what technology can do for us and what it cannot do for us. And as well as building a strong workforce that can enable the United States, to remain, a high technology proficient nation that underpins our very existence.
So totally agree on the importance of cybersecurity and the need for a competent cybersecurity workforce. But it's a very difficult challenge to identify what members of this cybersecurity workforce need to know and be able to do, because these technologies emerge and evolve so quickly, and they're adopted and they're adapted. And tell us a little bit about how you go about defining the capabilities of this workforce and communicating those needs.
Wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity to do that, because that's all about what we're producing. Across the nation, one of the very first things that we had to get our arms around was the definition of what a cybersecurity professional was. And as we use the White House definition, this is basically a professional that can construct, operate, maintain any kind of technology network, work on analytics, work on special operations. Basically, if you work within the IT and the technology field, you too can be a cybersecurity professional. But we needed to have a defined definition. Within the country, one of the hardest questions to answer was how many IT professionals do we have now, and how many do we need? And so in order to do that, the very first thing that the federal government did, which has become now a national sort of framework, is we had to define a common lexicon of what a cybersecurity professional is. We published the National Cybersecurity Workforce Framework on 22 August of 2012, and this becomes our foundation for growing a professional field. In addition, on 14 December and coming soon across the nation is the NICS portal. We wanted a public-facing website that would help to engender the three goals of NICE. Again, awareness for the nation, broadening the pool, K through 20, and as well as fine-tuning that competent cybersecurity professional field. And we have created that website, and it has gone live. And this will be emerging and growing, and events and programs that are cybersecurity related, cybersecurity education. We are open to having people come in so that we can link all the different opportunities throughout the nation, whether they be educational programs, extracurricular activities, cybersecurity-sponsored events, but you can go to the NICS portal at www.nix.us-cert.gov.
Can you spell that?
Sure. www.nix.us-cert.gov. And you can even send email to us and ask for your events, your programs to be entered, so that we can look at this problem across the nation. But there is information that you can go, if you're a student, you can go to this portal and find career paths and career opportunities and salary rates. If you are instructors, you can go through and find knowledge, skills, and abilities that are in demand for employers across the nation. We will have a training catalog that will come live later in 2013, in which commercial sector providers and educators can come in and link their training to the framework that I mentioned, and we will have a training catalog that will point people to availability of training and education that will help propel them forward and help them to refine their knowledge, skills, and abilities.
Wow. So you're doing some great stuff. So you've identified the problem, you've defined the field, you've created a framework for addressing the workforce needs. There's a web portal for engagement. And that portal serves students, faculty, and public. Wonderful.
Absolutely. We're very excited about this because we really feel that we can make a difference throughout the nation, but we also need everyone out there, whether you be academics or industry or other members of the government, to come in and help us with the site. Some of the things within technology, we know that technology is evolving so rapidly that even technology trends of next month may not even be anticipated. We need that form of discussion so that we can help to focus people, saying, you know, here's a highlighted skill that is desperately needed. We need some training for this particular opportunity. And that adds to the interactive ability of the portal to stay current and to move people forward in technology.
Wow, great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.